Right, so in the last episode, I said that I was not very happy about missing the fact that we had secured promotion and I wasn't able to show you that we had secured it. So I said we'll come back for this episode when we had a chance to actually secure the league title. I recorded that episode. Spoiler, we won the title. Unfortunately, the video messed up and there's no audio to it whatsoever. So we're now back at the very end of the season. There's one game left. It is kind of meaningless. But what we can do, we can view the video where we actually won the league title, no audio of course, and have the last game of the season before we get into a quick season review before we kick off the summer. Hello and welcome back to the real Club 2 episode 9 of Unemployed to Legend. My name is Craig and I say real episode because, like I mentioned in the intro, I had already recorded episode 9, the title win that was supposed to happen for Norwich, and yeah, no audio, so unfortunately that video is now, for all intents and purposes, useless. But before we get into the first game, well, sorry, it's going to be the only game of the episode because we have one game left of the season since you were last with us, which was all the way back in March. Yeah, I think the Bournemouth game was the last one I showed you. I was meant to show you the Watford and Millwall games, but unfortunately that hasn't quite happened. The title has now been won. Since the title win, literally just played Bristol Rovers in the league, and now we've just got one league game left at home against Reading. As far as the league table goes, it's been a sensational season. We have dominated the Championship since day one. 115 points from 45 games is nothing to be sniffed at. And I'm very, very proud of what we've done this season. Now, I'm just hoping we can take this excellent season into the Premier League. Now, before we get into the game, it is already game day. We're going to go over just the final few minutes of that game against... No, not Millwall. It was against Watford. We're going to go over the last few minutes against Watford and just show the winning goal that won us the title. We were drawing 0-0 going into this, and for us to actually win the title, we needed to win before Bournemouth. They played their game the day after this game, and luckily, in the 89th minute, Joe Willock gets the ball forward and puts it into the bottom corner of the net, the winning goal for us in this championship winning season. Obviously, we had still had a few minutes left at this point. You've already seen the league table. You've seen the big C next to Norwich's name. It's been confirmed. It was a 1-0 result, thankfully. Oh, minus the fact that Watford, I think they were going to have a last chance here. But you know what? I've already spoiled the ending. It's anticlimactic at this point. But Lynch gets the ball forward. I don't believe he scored from this. I think it finished 1-0. Yeah, he just shot straight into Palmer's hands anyway. We clung on in the end despite my tinkering towards the end of this game. And that was enough to see us over the line. You can just see me down in the corner. I actually didn't realise at the time we were going to win the league. I completely got my maths mixed up. I didn't realise we only needed, I think, another 2 points or something to actually win, regardless of what Bournemouth did. So you could just see me sort of lamenting that, but then just being so happy at winning the championship. Norwich City, your 2023-24 season championship winners. It's my first trophy on this save. I was so happy about it. I know my face doesn't look it down in the picture frame, but whatever. I was so overjoyed inside. I'm still overjoyed now. And thus that brings us to our final game of the season at home against Reading. This is going to be the 11 that we're going to send out. For Brugia in goal with Gonzalez, Mavropanos, Mengi and Aarons in defence. Shus Alba I'm going to play in this deep line playmaker role. I felt he has earned the chance to be playing there, even just for one game this season, with Angelo Stiller beside him as well in the base in the midfield. Todd Cantwell on the left wing. Stephen Alzate will give him one more chance in attacking midfield because he hasn't done the business for us so far this season. Peter Lynch on the right hand side and Balogun up front. There are a few notable casualties or rather absences from this starting 11 and the subs bench as well. Verdi and Exposito I'm going to give a rest to be fair. They've done a lot this season. I've just realised I've left Backman off the subs bench, but whatever. Batman's not going to be with us next season. As far as I'm concerned, he is done. Davenport, Downs, they're just going to be rested as well. They've had a lot. Well, Downs hasn't played much this season. Davenport has, but he's lost a lot of fitness. He hasn't played in recent weeks. Never mind. We're just going to see what this team can do today. It's a bit of a... I hesitate to use the words free match because I would like us to get a win just to end the season off very, very well. But we will just leave it up to the players, to be honest. I mean, they should know exactly what to do, so we'll leave it to them. While we just go through what will effectively be a season review of what I felt has been most impressive about this season, and there has been, thankfully, quite a bit. And to be honest with you, if we're going to start with what's been impressive, we've got to go with a few names that I would like to mention. Notably, a man who's playing today, he's playing on the right wing, Peter Lynch, my 19-year-old wonder kid. He is still a wonder kid after this season, thankfully, which is excellent. Sometimes, obviously, some players can lose it, but thankfully Lynch has been getting a lot of games. It's easily his best season so far in his career, 25 goals in 46 appearances in all competitions. He's currently at Premier League level, very brave player. He's very, very impressive mentally, technically and physically. He is technically, apparently the game says he's best as a winger, but he's been spending most of the season up front as my advanced forward. He's more than capable of finishing there. Playing there. His finishing leaves a lot to be desired. I might have to work on that in the close season. I'm not going to waste too much time on clicking on every single player because we want to get through this match at the end of the day. That is a lovely header by Gonzalez. And it took me till actually a few games ago I realised Gonzalez is 6'3". For a left back, that is monstrous. But since I discovered that, he's been going up for free kicks and corners along with Mavropanos. So we've just got an absolutely deadly aerial threat at set pieces. Lynch with the free kick, and there is Mavropanos, and just like that, both of my tallest players on the score sheet, Mavropanos and Gonzalez, they could be the difference between us surviving and not surviving next season. That is a towering looping header, by the way. That is very impressive. He did miss the last game, did Mavropanos, just to give him a break. He's back for this one. Hopefully to finish off the season in very strong style. And that's just another bit of praise I want to give, actually, to Mavropanos and Gonzalez, their aerial ability, which has been magnificent, and that thankfully has been disallowed because that was very, very sloppy defending. I can't say much about their defending because thankfully we've been on the front foot for most of this season, but it's going to be a different story next season, guys. You better get your defending up to scratch. Although, to be fair, we have Mengi there. Mengi I'm hoping to renew, or actually bring him in as a permanent player this summer. Apparently he's available for around £10 million or so. And he's been playing in the Premier League before for my old side, Wigan. He played there for us until he got his leg broken, or ankle, I can't remember which one it was. Kept him out for about 4 months. Very close by Balogun there, and he's unlucky not to score. Last ditch defending by Reading there. But hopefully we'll bring back Mengi for next season. Quaresma, he's been out the side recently, but he'll get game time next season. I'm not too worried about him for the moment. Vargas, the same as another central defender. He's only 18, 19 years old. Apparently he's concerned about the game time he's been getting, but heck, when you've got good players in front of you, you know, what else can I do? You need to force your way into the team, son. As far as the midfield goes, if there's one player I'm really, really glad we have, and this is apart from Edu Exposito, who has been a fantastic midfield player for us this season, as a ball-winning midfielder and as a deep-line playmaker since Will Hughes left in January. But if it wasn't for Hughes leaving in January, the one player we wouldn't have been introduced to was Shus Alba. An absolute bargain he cost, £600,000, and he's been worth every single penny, and then some. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League next season. He is Championship level currently, but with that Premier League potential, I think he'll more than fulfill that. Even with Campbell in front of him, who will more than likely start for me next season, hopefully, Alba will get game time, certainly ahead of Alzate, who probably won't survive this summer. I've not been impressed in the 4 or 5 months he's been here so far. Speaking of impressive, very lovely finish from Lynch there. It hasn't escaped my notice that he's actually scored, as he slots in, or powers in more to the point, his 26th goal of the season. Stay motivated, lads. Let's finish this off in a professional manner. Speaking of professional, Angelo Stiller. He's not a professional player by personality, per se. But he's come in. I didn't expect much from him just to fill a squad spot. He's now a starting central midfielder. He's just displaced Davenport for all intents and purposes, and I'm all for it. He's just come out of nowhere and just been this surprise package that I absolutely had no intention of using except maybe in a cup game. Where he's plays in the cup games, he's now playing in the league. And if he continues that going into the Premier League next season, I'm going to just rate him as the best signing I've done in this whole save so far. And that's above the likes of Mengi, Davenport, Armini. There's quite a few. There's quite a few, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Sometimes the most surprising signings are the best ones of the lot, and Stiller definitely goes under that category. Goalkeepers wise, Verbruja, he's come in permanently. Actually, I was going to mention that in the episode that now isn't. Audio issues. Verbruja is now signed for us permanently for next season. He's arriving on a £22.5 million deal from Club Brugge. That may sound like a lot for a keeper who is... How old is he now? He's 18 still. He's now 18. It may sound like a lot, but with that 5-star potential, he's played a lot of games for us this season. And he's been decently solid. He's had a good season for us thus far. I can't really complain. He's a keeper for the long term. He's got that Premier League potential. The future transfer has been agreed already. And he's on a fairly cheap wage, certainly by Premier League standards. I think around 30 to 40k. No, in fact, around 30k. He's coming for around 30k a week, which, as long as he plays, amazing. I consider that a bargain. His attributes don't exactly stand out on the page, but again, he's 18. He's going to improve. He's already capped for the Belgian under-21s. And I came in here, by the way, to do some quick substitutions. You know what? Lynch is going to come off. He's had a good season. Quaresma's going to come on for Mengi, and that's the only changes we're going to make for the moment. Just to keep things nice and sweet. Mubayiva, he hasn't shown much this season apart from that one cup match where he scored. What was that by Alzate? And that's exactly why I'm getting rid of Steven Alzate this summer. He just gave the ball back. I don't know what he was doing here. He wasn't even facing towards the end we're attacking. I mean, look at this. What was that? I call that sabotage. I do truly call that sabotage, and he's going to go. He's a waste of £18 million. I'm just thankful we got Alba in, otherwise I have no idea what I would have done. Lovely finish, by the way, by Balogun. If I was Balogun, I'd go over to Alzate right now and just be like, yo, this is where you're supposed to be shooting. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Gonzalez into Cantwell, and Cantwell showing Alzate as well exactly how to make an assist. So that's what I brought Alzate in to do. He was actually supposed to drop into that deep line playmaker role that... What's his name? Exposito has actually taken over, but Exposito's done the job well enough. And here is Alzate again. I don't trust him on the ball one bit. The man can only do short passes. And Mubayiva just smashes the ball against the frame of the goal. That's really unlucky. We're going to make the final substitution. And I need to quickly see who is actually on the bench. Cantwell is actually tired. And we've got Joe Willock on the bench. He's going to come on for the last few minutes. Special credit, by the way, to Max Aarons, who has played so much football this season. I mean, my goodness. He keeps on going and going, and I love it. I really do love it. I just don't want him to get worn out in the Premier League next season, of course. But I can say that about a huge number of players. I can say that about the likes of Mavropanos, who has been tied for a large part of this season as well. But it will all be about squad management next season, and that's what we've got to get right, to be honest with you. Very good victory to end the season. Couldn't have asked for more from the boys. You won't, obviously we're not going to get a trophy presentation here. We had that against Watford. I'll make sure that that's slotted into the video and that you can actually see it. Just apologies for the lack of audio from the original frame of me in this little corner down here, but you'll have my voice over the original recording anyway, so that's all good. It's all right as long as you see the trophy lift. That's the main thing. Right, we'll be back, not with another game because the season is done now. We're going to be back when the season review comes through the inbox. This should make for some very entertaining and very good reading. Well, the season review came round much quicker than I expected, but you know what? At least it gets it out of the way, and we can get down to celebrating what has been a fantastic season for Norwich City. You can just see the championship trophy. Oh man, just you know what? Confirmation of the final league table as well. 118 points, 37 wins from 46 games. It just kind of blows my mind, really. A first trophy of the save, hopefully the first of many. So let's just get into the new arrivals. So all the new signings that we've had this season, the main star, or rather the star signing of this magnificent bunch is Angelo Stiller, and I was waxing lyrical about the man in the last game, and to be honest with you, as much as it could be a number of many of these players, I think Angelo Stiller was definitely a surprise, magnificent signing. Signed from Bayern Munich, well, their second team to be exact, but as a 23-year-old defensive midfielder who has come from nowhere to be a main starter alongside Exposito in central midfield, I'm very impressed with him, and long may he continue that into the new season in the Premier League. Mavropanos, Valentin, Gonzalez, Mengi, Albert, Lynch, Willock. I can agree, these guys are all magnificent signings, been magnificent players for us all season. Balogun, 22 goals from 42 appearances this season. For Lynch, 47 appearances, he's got 26 goals. At least they shared the goal tally between them. Just as a shout out, by the way, Mavropanos, 14 goals for a centre back. That's how much of an aerial threat the man is. Absolutely amazing. And I hope he does more of the same in the Premier League. For Buja, who will be our new signing, why £4 million? Oh, I'm guessing that's what the loan was worth. But here we have new £22.5 million signing from Club Brugge. 29 appearances overall. He did share with Bachmann for a little while, but overall he just took over in the end. Bahia actually went out on loan, but apparently even he's had a good season and he's won more for the future. The likes of Vargas, Bachmann, who's going to be leaving this season. Downs, Quaresma. I thought Quaresma had a pretty solid season anyway. He dropped out of the team towards the end. It's not really his fault, to be honest with you. He got a few suspensions and injuries, and Vargas just took advantage, as did Mengi. What can I say? Radu Misadas, our right back. Well, I know it says defensive midfielder. He's also a right back. Might try him in midfield next season because he's not happy about the lack of games he's been getting. Understandable. Might just send him out on loan otherwise. But I'm looking for more from him next season. So confirmation, we've already seen the championship, top of the league, won the championship, nearly maxed out the home attendance, so 25,676 at 93%. And Peter Lynch was the competition top scorer on 26 goals. Very impressive. Well done indeed to Senor Lynch. The board are very happy with us because they only expected the playoffs. That's understandable. I mean, I wondered if we had something special from the moment we smacked up Brentford 6-0. I mean, Brentford, they finished 5th and we destroyed them. Like, utterly destroyed them. And it's been very, very impressive. I just noticed we lost 2 games all season to Preston and Bournemouth. Bournemouth I can understand, but Preston was a bit disappointing considering they got relegated. The FA Cup, we expected to reach the 5th round. We got knocked out in the 5th round by Sheffield United. Another Premier League side, actually, we got a bit humbled by them, but hopefully we will strengthen enough for next season anyway. Carabao Cup, we got to the 3rd round. We expected to reach the 4th. We got Man City. They can kind of understand why we got knocked out, even though we were leading twice in that game. Biggest win, 6-0. I'd say that is the game to remember. Match to remember. Okay, yeah, we beat Birmingham 4-0, but this one sticks in the memory because I was just shocked that we took Brentford apart like we did. I know they had a bad start to the season, but they're not a bad side, not under any circumstances. And goal of the season was by Exposito, 23 metre screamer. We can't actually see it, which is a shame. It's a shame Football Manager took that feature off from last year. As far as finances go, club rotation, We've gone from 3-star to 3.5 stars just by getting back into the Premier League. Very, very happy. Hopefully it means we'll be able to get a few good quality players in over the summer. 2 new deals, 4.63 million a year, lovely stuff, and 1-year deal worth 4.49 was the most notable deal. As far as the actual revenue goes, we're down on sponsorship by a couple of million. I'm guessing that's because we fell out of the Premier League the previous season before I took over, so that's understandable. That'll go back up next year. Broadcast revenue is obviously down. Again, Premier League down to the Championship. There's going to be a big difference anyway. We're up on the corporate hospitality just by a little bit, which is fine. Competition prize money obviously is going to be a major difference. Again, Premier League down to Championship. You are going to take a massive hit in competition prize money. And the matchday commercial was actually up. I'm guessing we had more people show up for winning the Championship, I guess, over a whole season. I suppose fans want to see glory rather than fighting a relegation battle. So overall, our best 11, according to the game, is thus: Verbuja in goal. Well, I can't say his name properly still. Verbuja in goal. There you go. With Valentin, Mengi, Mavropanos and Aarons as the back four. I'd probably say Gonzalez really should be in there, but I can understand why Valentin was. He's been here the whole season. That's understandable. Will Hughes is still in the squad. I suppose he did play half a season. But for all intents and purposes, he's dead to us. He's not going to come back. Exposito, I understand, he's had a very good season. I'd probably put Davenport in there. Stiller came in too late, really, to affect this best 11, but I'd put Davenport in there instead. Willock on the left wing. I fully agree with this. Just Alba. Wow, not Cantwell. And Cantwell's only out for 3 months. So he's still played 2/3 of the season. That is a very, very interesting choice to have Alba in there instead of Cantwell. Ferdy on the right wing, understandable, and Peter Lynch, as the main man up front. 26 goals for Lynch this season. And 15 for Willock in this 11 anyway. We know Balogun got 22. Kadoglu got 14, as did Mavropanos. Exposito weighed in with 11, about half of those are penalties. Mengi got 5, Alba got 3, and Hughes only got 1. Interesting. I'm surprised he got as little as he did. Assists were kind of shared out between everyone, actually. Only our goalkeeper didn't get a single assist this season. He's no Alisson Becker, is he? Accolades are won numerous Manager of the Month awards: September, January, February, March, April. You can see where Norwich kind of just dominated from there on out. Club awards: Fans Player of the Season, Mavropanos, well deserved. Young Player of the Year of the season, Max Aarons. This will be the last time he can win it. He's 24 years old now. He's not a young player. He'll give a lot of experience for us next season in the Premier League. Signing of the season, we already know: Angelo Stiller and Exposito with the goal of the season that we can't see. Top scorer Peter Lynch, 26 goals. Cantwell with the most assists with 20. That makes sense. Again, surprising he wasn't in the best 11. Alba had a good second half of the season, but I would have gone with Cantwell in that best 11, to be honest, because he's going to be the main man in attacking midfield next season. Most Player of the Match awards, again, Cantwell with 8 would probably have been higher if not for injury. Highest average rating, Cantwell, 7.6, and Exposito the most passes per 90 minutes, 63. That's for a deep line playmaker. I'm very impressed by that. As for record breakers, again, this is my first season here at Norwich, so I actually don't know what the previous records were, but Peter Lynch with the most goals in a season, 26. Cantwell, 20 assists. Most clean sheets is by Verbuja, 14 in 46. Doesn't sound like much, but that's clearly the difference between us securing the title rather than getting promoted. I dare say our attacking play got us promoted, if anything else. Most Player of the Match awards in the season, Cantwell with 8. Worst discipline, Quaresma, the Naughty Boys Club, 15 yellow cards. You can see why he dropped out of the team. He just got so many suspensions. 1 match suspension, 2 match suspension, then a 3 match suspension. Plus injury, so he's missed about a quarter of the season right there. And our youngest player was Verbuja, 18 years, 20 days. At the beginning of the season, I believe that was. And yes, it was indeed history in the making, 118 points. I believe that is the Championship record. Ironically enough, it was Reading that we beat for that. Their record, 106. And we ended the season at 118. Kind of fitting that we ended the season against them then. And that is the Championship season. We walked it. There's no other way of saying it. I didn't think we actually would walk it. I thought we'd have a good chance of promotion, like I was saying, all season, just aiming for promotion the whole time. But we just destroyed that. And I'm very, very happy for all of them. Right, so the summer transfer is up next. Now, what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm actually going to stream the summer transfer window here with Norwich. So I'm not going to go forward on this. It's now the 5th of May 2024. I will stream this on Twitch on, I believe I'll do this on Friday. So this will be on Friday afternoon, sort of around noonish. I'll put it on my Twitter anyway when I'm going to go live. And by the way, this is noon UK time. The link will be down in the description below. I'll also leave it on the screen somewhere here as well. And come along and join in. See how the summer goes, how we prepare for life in the Premier League. It's going to be a lot of fun and I'm really looking forward to it. Friday, 12 noon UK time. I look forward to seeing you there. If you've enjoyed that episode, especially us finally lifting a trophy in this save, make sure to leave a like down below and click subscribe for more Football Manager content. Also, remember, check me out on Twitch. I will be streaming, well, I streamed earlier today if you're watching this on Tuesday. I will also be streaming tomorrow, Wednesday, again, noon UK time, and the summer transfer window for Norwich City. On Friday, again, noon UK time, Friday afternoon. Thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.